Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, no one rap. Oh yeah, one rap. Oh yeah, no one rap. Oh yeah, no one, no one. Hello, how you doing? My angel, my one and only, the only one that I'm missing. When you bring me joy and blessings, you know that I love you, and I can't wait to say I do. But before we walk down the aisle, I just wanna make you know that you're the brightest. May you be the finest thing I've seen. You're the brightest. The way you shine, the thing like me, you're the highest. When it comes to acting, you're the lead. My princess, my only one lover. Girl, I just wanna let you know that no one be like you. See, I don't go different places, I've seen many faces. No one be like you. So they cannot replace you, cause you are a blessing. No one be like you. You're driving me crazy, cause you are my baby. No one be like you. No one, no one like you, one like you. No one like you, one like you. No one, no one. About a year ago, before I met you, yeah, there was no possibility for me to be rescued. But then that I found you, girl, I cannot do without you. I say that I go different places, I've seen many faces, I cannot replace you. With you, I can't many blessings, girl, you want my life, you're the brightest. Yeah, now you be the finest thing I've seen, you're the brightest. The way you just shine me, the flame like me, you're the highest. When it comes to acting, you're the lead. My princess, my only lover. Girl, this is not to let you know that no one be like you. See, I don't know different places, I've seen many faces, no one be like you. They cannot replace you, cause you want a blessing, no one be like you. You're driving me crazy, cause you want my baby, no one be like you. No one, no one like you, one like you. No one like you, one like you. That's why we say, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, no one rap, oh yeah, one rap, oh yeah, no one rap, oh yeah, no one, yeah, you're the finest, yeah, now you be the finest I've ever seen. The way you the shine, the flame like green. Hey, when it comes to acting, you're the lead. My princess, my only one lover. And I guess it's time to let you know that no one like you. So many things, so many things. Everything without you, there's no possibility. There's no positivity. Always negativity. They gonna found you. Hey, you are my everything. You are my destiny. This is reality. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Woo, woo. Wow! I don't even know where to start. Woo! Let us start by looking at what the family members are saying. Oh, my dear, Abdulaziz is giving me kisses. And Oluwakemi says, beautiful mama. Khadija said, good evening, all the amazing IOM family. Please don't forget to share on your social media platform. Absolutely, yes. I gotta share right now as well. So please, if you want, like Khadija has advised, can we please share this link on our social media platforms? Me, I'm gonna share it on my WhatsApp status. Yes, and that is it. Wow, wow, wow. Today is packed. Today is packed. Let me invite this lady again. Yeah, so today is packed. Woo! Thank you, Khadija. Tochukuze have shared already. Thank you, guys. Wow, the figures are growing. Naptak said, wow, wow, wow. Christopher said, kindly share. Thank you. Chintok said, no one be like you. Everyone is watching. Thank you very much. So I go straight into tonight's program because we have no time to waste time. 2 hours is like 2 minutes right now on my talk show. I hope the fan is not disturbing. The last time I didn't like the sound at all. So I want to talk quick, quick, quick. If you hear me talking like this, know that I don't have time to waste time. Okay, so family members, I want to say good evening, family. Good evening, Fred Sonny. Good evening, Otobes. Good evening, Nancy. Good evening, Latifat. Good evening, Jelly. Good evening, Praise. Good evening, Akamor. Good evening, Benjamin, watching from our YouTube channel. Yes. Good evening, Oluro Tobar. Good evening, Eichmann. Good evening. I saw Mario. Good evening, Sonny. And good evening, Umario. Yes, we have to start. We will definitely start. Sorry, some of the friend of the child, been a while. Woo, Major, thanks for the privilege. All right, so I want to add a couple of people. Yes, I will be adding a couple of people. Yeah. Okay. Tonight is packed. Tonight is packed. Yes. If you look at what is scrolling down the screen, you will see it's talking about side chick versus side cook, part 2. Yes. And again, tonight we are talking about the part 2. Tonight's speakers are amazing. Honestly speaking, please show us your face, my darling, at the backstage. Tonight's speakers are amazing. I think I'm struggling to get someone in. We have in our midst already on the screen, Barrister Tope, wonderful, amazing soul. I already introduced him last time, so we'll just jump straight into what we're saying. And also with him is the librarian. He's full of knowledge, Emmanuel Musa. Emmanuel Musa, thank you for coming. And on the backstage, we have our one and only, I will allow you to introduce yourself, my darling. I didn't get to take your details whilst I wait for the other speaker to join in. Introduce yourself, unmute and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Nurse Angel, the one and only Nurse Angel. I'm happy to be here with you this evening. Love you so much. In our mind, always on my mind, my destiny is in my hands.
Correct. So,
good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
I am happy to be here. My name is Ifi Aaron Mutafo.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And I am a broadcaster and presenter. Yeah, I recently won a competition, and I'm also now a UN champion for the Summit of the Future. I am happy to be here.
Fantastic. Ify, sorry I was distracting. I wanted to ask you, how is the sound? Is the sound clear enough? Or is there any background noise?
Yes.
It's clear.
No, it's perfect.
Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
So you can mute Ify as usual. Do you follow in our Mind Talk show, Ify? Do you follow in our Mind Talk show? Ify? Oh, Ify is frozen. Okoto. Okay, so quickly, I want to start the needful. Tope and Emmanuel, I'll come to you because Ify has not been introduced before. That's why I allowed her to introduce herself. Whilst we wait for Marjorie, I want to engage the family members as we usually do. Oh, I know if he is frozen. If he come back, if you can, let me see what the family are saying. As more say, in our mind is always in his mind. Absolutely, and praise said good. So family, let's start quickly before we get distracted again. Family, I want to ask you all a question. Family, this question goes to especially the women. Will you like to be the side chick? Family and our speakers, please, I want you to listen attentively because I'll be reading out the comments by the family members. Family, do you want to be the side chick of our 67-year-old Dangote? Family, if you are happy to be the side chick for Dangote, please can you say aye? Yes, so moving forward. So my question is, do you want to be Dangote's side chick? Period. Let's see, please, I want you to be honest with me. Dodgy said no. Salahu said, okay, ma. Okay, I think he said something else. Lord said, no, I never. Okay, please, family, I want you to be honest with me because people have challenged me. They challenge me a lot. They say, go and have a sample. Take a sample of all these young women. You will see they want to, be the side chick of the rich men. And I cannot say yes or no, but I want you to tell me, family, do you want to be the side chick to Dangote? Dangote is watching. If you say yes, he's coming for you. So Love said no. Lola Day said no and never. Richie smiles. Khadija said, Omo, this one loud. Napta said, no, and never. Come on, Dangote is watching and he wants to know who is ready to be his side chick. Zika said, nay. Ziti said, what happened to Yoruba? YouTube. Nothing happened. I can see people viewing from YouTube. And Chichi said, yes, money day. Fred said no. And Oluwakemi said no. Please be honest with me. Doka said no. And Chinazan said, no matter how rich you are, I can never be a second option to anyone. Okay, that's fantastic. So I'm looking at the backstage. Show us your face. I've brought you up. Okay, thank you, guys, chicks. It's only one person that said she said yes for the money. Okay, right now the question goes to the men. Men, are you happy, men, to be the side cock for 70 years old Oprah Winfrey? Oprah Winfrey have asked that I find out from you guys if you wanted to be her side cock. Oprah Winfrey is 70 years, but she got the money. So, guys, are you? Only said no. Katu said no. Okoto. Mario said no, ma. Zara said it's tiring. China said no. Miss said no. Miss said no. Eichmann said no. Oprah Winfrey is just 70 years and she's looking for a side cock. Who wants to be? What have they said? Admin Chintok. They could not come answer this question. Zika said, okay now. Vera said, no, never. Abraham said, no. Let's see, Fred Sonny. Okay. Faith said, no. Chintok said, nahi. Fred Sonny said, see my iffy. Okay, Fred Sonny. Eichmann has continued to say no. Family, You guys are not giving us a good pull. Or cotton. Okay, so both men and women have refused the billionaire Dangote and the billionaire or millionaire Oprah Winfrey. Right now, family, I want to please, we need honesty. I need us to know what the speakers are listening. So we want to know what you think. Men chick, do you want to be family? Do you want to be the side chick to a big man or the main chick to a poor man? So, family, the question goes like this. Because I asked a question previously, if you say yes or no, right, men, no, may, no, or yes, So the question goes like this. Do you want to be the main chick, as in the wife or the fiancée of a poor man? Praise said no. I'm talking about main chick, meaning the wife. Do you want to be the wife of a poor man? Babalola said, I'm available. Okay, that's good. Me said, main chick. Okay. Babalola said, yes. Remember, is the main chick for the poor man or the side chick to the rich man. So if you say yes, that means to the poor man. Main chick to a poor man, China. Ooh, wow, I didn't know that. This is beautiful. Oh, Chiamaka is tagging. Thank you, Chiamaka. Love say, you're the best finest in the world, Mama. Chiamaka, thanks, but answer the question. Kemi said, main chick to a poor man, yes. Ebenezer said, no way. I think Ebenezer is answering the question to Oprah Winfrey. Thank you, Ebenezer. But Lola said, yes. Wow. Umaru said, yes. Main chick to a poor man. And my sister, Christy Nazi, is laughing. And Babalola said, never. Rachel said, no. Femi said, poor man or average man. I said, poor. I said, poor man. You're not adding average. Yetunde said, yes, she'll be the main chick of the poor man. And Babalola continued to say, never. Tochukwu said, they know they use suffer boast, Jare. Okay. Dee said, okay. All right. So we see a lot of people saying yes, and a couple of people say no. So the question now goes to the men. Men, we've heard what the women said. I'm asking you, men. This question is for the men. Do you want to be the main cock to a poor woman? Men, do you want to be the main cock to a poor woman? And Fresoni said 100%. I don't know what the 100% means because he just typed it before I asked. Difem said no. I think she's still answering no, not going to be main chick for a poor man. Khadija said, main chico, as I don't become the main chick already. Fantastic. And Sonny is giving a handshake. So where is he? Umaru said yes. Toba said no. Efosa, where is Efosa? Efosa said no, he's not going to be the main cock to a poor woman, meaning you're not going to marry a poor woman. Eichmann said yes, he's going to marry a poor woman or be the main cock to a poor woman. And Rafid to say main chico, okay, and she's tagging. And Chintok say yes, he's going to be the main cock to a poor woman. And Femi said yes, I will make her rich. I like that. So the next question goes like this: men and women. So family, this question goes to you. Men, I'm trying to find out the mindset of the family members, and I hope these speakers are listening. So family, men and women, who should be richer? Family, men and women, who do you think should be richer? I'm coming to read your responses. So I'm trying to add our speakers. So family members, men and women, Who should be richer? Okay. Toba said men, and she's a woman. Miss said men, I believe she's a woman. Khadija said Omo Ichok, okay, Ichok. Miss said women, okay. Benjamin said both genders, okay. Umario said men, who is a man himself, okay. Fresoni said virus. He's hanging. Josie Nze said both, okay. Lamidi said women, all right. Who is a woman? Efosa said please men, and he himself is a man. Miss, I believe, is a woman. She said men. And Nkem says seriously. Richie said either of the two, okay? And Umaru is continuing to say men. Christine Nancy said women. Toba said both. Fumi said men. I believe she's a woman. And Gogwem said men. And Patient said both. Okay. Fabumi said both. Okay. Majorly, you can mute Majory. Thank you for coming back. And so Rafitu said, men cock to a poor woman. He's still answering that. Benjamin said both. Okay. And Chioma said men. And Love said today, not today. Okay. I quickly go to the next question, family members. I hear you all. People are saying men, people are saying women, even women are saying men, but some women are saying women, and some women are saying both. But majorly men say men, women say women both or men. All right, now, family, this is the second to the third to the last question. I want to find out from you, family members, what influences your behavior? Your choices, the decisions, and the answers you've been giving to me, your behaviors, how you behave in the society. Can you tell me what influences this behavior? Is it your religion? Is it your tradition? Is it your society? Is it your upbringing? Or is it your research or study? Family, I want to hear from you. What influences your behavior? Family? What influences your behavior? All these choices you're giving to me, are you answering the question based on your religion? Okay. Umaru said it's based on his religion. All right. And Christiana said it's based on her religion as well. Okay. And Dele said it's based on her religion. Fantastic. Richie said it's based on life experiences. Fantastic. Dolce said it's based on her religion. Fantastic. Patience said it's based on her upbringing. Fantastic. Lamidi said it's based on society. Precisely. Fantastic. Tochoko said it's based on her upbringing. Fantastic. Asa says it's based on all of them. All of them contributes. Thank you. And Bernard said, he's still talking about main chick and side chick. So Christine Nazi said it's based on her upbringing. Okay. Richie said life experiences. And then China said his upbringing. Thank you, guys. I see many people are making choices based on upbringing, based on religion, but a couple of people said based on life experiences. Thank you, guys. So the second to the last question goes like this. Our speakers are listening and they are going to talk to you based on your mindset. So the question goes like this. Are females trained to have self-control over their sexual urge? Family, I want you to tell me your upbringing, religion, tradition, society, your training, the schools. Do they train female to have self-control over their sexual desire? Yes or no? Princess says yes. Okay, she's talking about her upbringing, her decisions. That's it is. yes, in sex education. So I want to ask your question again. The question again: are female, when you're training a female child, this is just for female children, are they trained to have self-control over their sexual urge? Umaru said yes. Salahu said yes, of course. Olaitan said yes, absolutely. Love said yes. Khadija said yes. Rose is still answering what influences her decision, which is said religion. Fresoni said yes, that women are trained to have self-control. Richie said yes. Tochukwu said yes. Princess said yes. Asa said yes, absolutely. Christina said yes. Now, thank you guys. The question now, this is the last question. Then we'll go into the talk show proper. Amen. Just like you all answered yes, for the training of a woman to have self-control over her sexual urge. Are men trained like male children? Are they also trained to have self-control over their sexual urge when they are being brought up? So the question now goes to women. Men, I mean, sorry. Need say no. Men are not trained to have self-control over their sexual urge. Who again? Princess said no. Princess is a previous pioneer admin. Dochi said no. Men are not trained to have self-control over their sexual urge. Olori said no. Men are not trained to have self-control over their sexual urge. Christiana said yes. Men are trained. Jay said no. Men are not trained to have self-control over their sexual urge. Faith said no. Men are not trained. Chinazam said yes. Men are trained. Abraham said yes, but it depends on the individual. Christabel said no. Men are not trained. Ezine said, what did I miss? Fabumi said yes. Men are trained. Bernard said yes. Men are trained. Lastly, Chioma said not really. And this brings us to the end of our question and answer by the family members. Thank you, family members. You guys are always the best. Before we start, I want to ask Majoli, please can you unmute and introduce yourself to the family members? Majoli, I didn't get to get your profile. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Angel. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're hearing me from. My vocal cords are a bit stressed. I've been on a cross AVA. I'm joining from Nigeria, Imo State. I am a gender advocate, a gender justice advocate, and a human rights activist. I work with Sisters with a Goal initiative as the executive coordinator, and I am a convener of Onurube, and of course the Imo State coordinator of the Gender-Based Violence Coalition of CSOs and NGOs in that particular thematic area. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You can mute. We always ask our speakers to mute so we don't get interaction. Ma'am, they are all greeting you. Tochuku say, you're welcome, ma. Napta say, good evening, ma. And Tamaru said, welcome, ma. And then Zitas is giving you love. Thank you, guys. So we have all introduced ourselves. The family members have already spoken as well. Tonight, as I said earlier, tonight we want to talk about the side chick versus the side cock, part 2. Previously, we looked at why we have side chicks and side cocks, the treatment given to either the side chick and the side cock, and what have you. So today, we will be going into a lot of dimensions, but it depends on how family members and the speakers also respond to questions. I want to say once again, remember, tonight's topic is going to be broad. It's broader than what it will be. It is. It's side chick versus side cock. However, we want to start with our one and only barrister in the house, Tope. Tope, I want to ask you a straightforward question. I asked a lot of questions to the family members. I asked them who wants to be side chick to a rich man, and so also the men. But there is a question that brought more no than yes, which is the training of the male child and the female child. When I asked, do female child get training in to have self-control over their sexual urge? They all said yes. Almost all the answers I was able to see came back to say yes. When I asked the same question about the male gender, whether they have training to have control over their sexual urge, majority said no. Can I ask you from the majority answers of our family members? I don't want to generalize outside this platform. Tope, why are there double standards between the training of a male child and that of a female child? Why do you think that is the case?
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to those who joined us last week. I want to believe that to answer that question, we then have to look at individual societies and culture.
Correct.
Because, for instance, in certain cultures, sexual discipline for women, the girl child, is seriously emphasized. And while that is done, you see the same culture neglecting sexual discipline for men. However, I think it would not be correct to now generalize that reality, although majorly that is the fact. So the double standard that we see regarding the training of male and female seemed like I said, from the totality of our cultural and religious experiences, regardless where we're coming from. If you go check through history, whether European history, whether African history, whether traditional history, you will discover that society has always placed the emphasis of dominance on the male, whether religiously or culturally. Because of that, most times, the woman is trained to be okay for the man. She is trained to know how to cook for the man, how to keep her body for the man, and it pass. So if we want to now say why, it's a combination of so many factors. Factors I think that the world is now beginning to attempt a change of. It's a combination of so many factors, like I said, cultural factors, religious factors. So, the beginning of Nigerians' democracy and from our independence till date, we've just had just 2 CJNs, just 2 that are female, Halima Mukhtar and the current one. It therefore means that since 1960 till now, we've had almost all the time male CJN. It boils down to every facet of our life as a people, as a community, as a group of people. So that double standard will take concerted effort by interest groups, individuals, ourselves, to now, the new generation must now make it a duty to ensure that, for instance, every child, regardless of gender, is trained on the basic etiquettes of life.
Fantastic.
Including, but not limited to sexual ecstasy, including the act of taking care of a home, the act of cooking, of watching, of cleaning. These are life skills that an average individual should have, regardless of whether you are a man or a woman. So our culture, and we must also thank education and enlightenment. So we are coming to the realization of certain realities, certain truth that is now informing our decision and our socialization in the society, such that we now make decisions that would then positively affect the coming generation. Before now, there is this superstitious belief about inequality, about why the man is the head, why the man must then be the boss, why the man must sit when he comes back from work and cross his leg and expect to be served without helping in the kitchen, because culture says he has to do that, because society says he has to do that. But times have changed, issues are changing, because now when you work as a man, you must also remember that your wife works too as a woman. If you come back from work by 5 p.m., the woman also comes back from work by 5 p.m. Do not forget, she also takes care of the babies. Now, if you now go to the chair and then you sit and you are watching NTA or whatever it is you watch in your spare time, and you leave her, what you are doing is that if you have a male child, you are reinforcing that negative prejudice that you are doing to your woman, because our children learn by what they see, not what you tell them. So if you want to, if you want to have a son that is a gentleman, that does the right thing, that treats a woman right, the first thing you have to do as a man is treat their mother right. Behave towards their mother the way you want them to behave towards female people, partners that they will have in the future. So if we go back to the question of why, we cannot conclusively say why. Because it's a combination of so many factors. What we can conclusively say, however, is that we have the capacity, if we have the willingness. The capacity is always there. The question now is the willingness, the desire. If we muster the desire and the courage and the willingness to change the trajectory, we can, as new generation, we can then disabuse our mind from that ego complex, that ego that says you cannot help the woman in the house. Of course, then again, there is always the balance to issues when we discuss it like this. And what do I mean? What I am saying is that most times, too, a woman should also understand that while you are in a committed relationship, whether marriage, whether you are a fiancé or you are married or a living partner, there must be you must create an environment that encourages the man to be helpful. And the man, on the other hand, too, must understand that nobody is the slave of another. No one man is the slave of another. Forget what we tell ourselves. You have a woman, you don't help her, you don't do the things you're supposed to do. And then in the long run, what does it happen? And then they will tell you the love died. You killed it. It didn't die. You killed it by your ego. So we cannot conclusively say why there is that prejudice, because for different cultures there could be different reasons. For different civilizations there could be different reasons. But the truth of the matter is that when it comes to respect for human rights, respect for women's rights, we have a lot to do. Because I keep telling people, sorry for taking your time, that
Continue.
there is a wide gap between the concept of human rights, which is generic in nature, which talks about everybody, regardless of sex. And then there is also the woman's rights, the right of that woman. That one is more like it's because if you have a woman, for example, whose existence in the society is such that she then has to struggle to be seen, to be heard, it's a double jeopardy for her, because she then has to grapple with another reality, the reality that the human right she's supposed to enjoy as a human being, she's being denied, and then the woman right that she's supposed to enjoy as a woman is also being denied. So you have a double jeopardy, kind of situation where she suffers double jeopardy. Now, the role then that we now have to play, both gender, both sex, will play the role. Of course, majorly, it lies to the man to do and kill the ego and be the man and be gentlemanly, be responsible, train your men to be good men, so that you can then expand that culture of respect and love and care. And then the woman too, on the other hand, must also understand that she must know, because you see, the Bible says that our people perish.
Thank you.
Because they lack knowledge. A woman must first of all understand her value, the value that she brings to the table, because before she can then create an environment that enhances that value. So if she does not understand the value that she brings to the table, she will then become susceptible to any nonsense that is thrown at her, because she feels that I'm the woman. I was happy when some persons were saying they're not going to marry Dangote regardless of the money that she has and blah blah blah. I said yes, if you can follow through, that is a paradigm shift, because you are not really a chattel. You are not a material to be bought with money.
Jesus.
It is not
talk back. You are killing me here. Take it easy. Why?
It is not common for a man to be bought with money, because the way society is structured. A rich woman, for example, might not even have need for a partner. If she does have need for a partner, she will likely marry up, because that's the natural order of things. But a rich woman, a woman who sees a rich man, who knows the rich man already has 3 wives, and then is considering her role. She feels like, okay, this man will take care of me. It doesn't matter that I already have 3 wives. Let me be wife number 4. At that moment in time, you have mortgaged whatever right you think you have by accepting to come into that union when you know that you have become a property that is used to line the floors of his house. You are no longer
Jesus. You're murdering this topic. You've murdered this topic.
Who can then turn around and say, the man is not treating me right. You accepted a subservient position because of material gain. So because you have accepted a subservient position because of material gain, if you as wife number 4 now start complaining that is bringing wife number 5, I don't think you have any complaint to make. If you as wife number 4 is complaining to bring wife number 5, I understand that it takes a lot, because when you look through history, there was time in history that women were not allowed to own property unless there is a man to underwrite the property. So you see that there is an institutionalized victimization of women that has gone on in history.
You don't do. 9 o'clock don't knock. I better wait, make I dance. Mute. Everybody mute. Mute. We have to dance.
Anytime,
Talk show.
Anywhere.
Wait. Talk show don't finish. We have finished the talk show. Everybody dance. Let's go. Ha! See this guy.
I love you. The person I'm messing for me. Oh yeah. I love somebody. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh no. Kill me. My girl, if I go do anything, I go do very well. I'm putting on my trust in you, cause I'm in love with you. Hey. It's like I cover myself and everything depends on you. I can't get my eyes off you. Girl, I'm in love with you. I wanna make him a funny little. Now you did well. I'm losing my mind. Baby, come closer, you're far away. Wherever you are, don't even think that I let you to suffer. Cause you are my angel, my lover. And I feel it. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Girl, I cannot do without you. Let me be the one to set you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. You are the woman of my dreams. You're passing up passing for me. Cause I wanna be a man and I want you to be my boo. My life is incomplete without you. Cause I'm in love with you. So I'm sick that I've been deceiving myself and involving myself with you. I spend only you. I think you that I do. Like I need it. And I'm losing my mind. Make you come closer where you live. Don't even think that I let you to suffer. Cause you are my angel, my lover. And I'm screaming, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Hey, girl, I cannot do without you. Let me be the one to set you. I say I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Hey, you are the woman of my dreams. Passing up, passing me. Hey, I wanna be. I don't care what people say. Cause my love is here to stay. And I'll do anything for you. Girl, I pledge my love for you. Cause I'm in love with you. I'm losing my mind.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Family, did you hear what I just heard? Gee! Woo! Woo! Talk show is over.
I have a question. I have a question.
Majorie, I wanted to ask you a question, Majorie. Unless you want to ask your own. Otherwise, the next question is for you. The guy just murdered the topic. But do you want to ask or do you want me to ask you?
Okay, ask me. Let me take them at once.
Thank you. So, Majorie, you can mute after asking you on mute because of voice interaction. Wow! So, the question I asked Tope, a wonderful barrister, IOM one and only, said that I asked him, why is there a double standard between the upbringing of the male child versus the female? The guy just killed me here. My question to you is this. Part of what he pointed out is tradition, religion, culture, society, education, upbringing, family, government. All these things were intertwined in the answers he dished out. He said, he talked about self-value, self-worth, and what have you. And he said that these are all the things that contribute in making the man dominant over the woman, apart from other things, because you can train people together. But he said men, by societal definition, they say they dominate. Therefore, the woman, if you have a male child and a female child, you train the female child to serve the male child. And majorly, I will tell you that men and women are involved in upbringing to a certain extent, at least in the society where I am. We know that in Nigeria, women, from what he just said, are the ones that train the children, both men and women. Women play a lot of roles in bringing up a child. Majorly. Is it correct for me to say that women, directly or indirectly, are the cause of the double standard training between the male child and the female child? Majorly, yeah. You can unmute, you're muted. If you're talking, I can't hear. Thank you.
Excuse me. I would rather take the view that women are enablers.
Okay.
Women enable this perpetuation, but men make the rules. Man's dominance is predicated on strength, physical strength. It's predicated on his outdoor lifestyle. We must not fail to realize the role of every institution.
Fantastic.
He listed, and how they have all played a role to keep women down, subservient, and behind. You agree with me that when abuse has happened over time, the person loses touch with reality and begins to believe the narrative of the abuser as her reality. And this influences what she does in raising her daughters and her sons. Unconsciously or consciously, she has been conscientized by religion to be subservient, and that is the only way she can be pleasing to both God and man. In the traditional home setting, she has been given those chores that are either left to the mates in the family. So she knows that she cannot, even when she has the best solutions to challenges that are being discussed, her voice should not be heard. So it's a whole lot of things and institutions that have gone into stripping away the humanity of the woman human. Now, in religion, it says God made them, man and woman, equal. He made them. Who began to create this dichotomy? Man, of course. I listened to the Learned Council to speak, and he made a distinction between what he called woman rights and human rights. And I wonder, what is woman rights? What is human rights? Is it right to birthing a child? Is it the right to making food? Is it the right of having a forked tooth. I tell you, according to the laws of our lands and every land, it is human rights, because the same rights a man has under the Constitution is the same rights that is agreeable to a woman. The mere fact that we see a reason.
Yeah. Oh dear me. So she's saying the mere fact.
Hello, sorry.
Continue.
The mere fact that this dichotomy in language and usage exists underscores the layers of abuse and how, irrespective of our good intentions, they exist, and they are very strong because of the years of conscientization. Now, my mother has us 11. She raised 5 sons and 6 daughters. My mother was an only child of a very wealthy father, and she was pampered silly. Now, which made it agreeable for her to have a lot of children. My mother had boys before us girls came along. My brothers taught me how to cook. My brothers taught their wives how to be very, very handy around the kitchen. My brothers are very comfortable in the markets because this was how they were raised. It's a challenge to get them out of the kitchen. When I had my first baby, my mother was not around. She was very far away. My second brother, my mother's second son, was in Lagos at the time. He kept to do omobo for me.
Fantastic.
That blew my mother-in-law away. He told me I was resisting the rules. Sit on that chair, pull your legs together.
Wow.
My brother came and said, babe, you need to do it. You know, you have to do that. It helps you heal. And my brother pounded yam for me. My brother petted me. It was okay. I didn't feel anyhow because we were raised to be unaffected. And our brothers, even in nude. So what am I saying? My primary environment empowered me, enabled me for the role I play today and the job I do today.
Wow.
Irrespective of societal structures that chose to do the other thing. And I will share something with you. I like that the Learned Council pointed to traditions, evolutionary history. In doing one research for women empowerment, we discovered that society evolved when men were hunters who went on hunting expeditions that could take between 1 year and 6 months, who went on trade journeys through the Atlantic trade routes. They used to walk. Let me remind us, there was no transportation, and the camel is not as fast as the cars of today. So it took a long time to travel from one part of the African continent to the other, or even within Nigeria. Now, women were found to hold the home. They ruled. That's how it started. Because this man goes on this journey, he passes through a route. Women keep the inns, the hotels of today, where women upstates, where these men will find water and food, as well as shelter during their travels. It was not a marriage situation. And when the need arises, biology happens, they may have sex if they find themselves appealing. Before it makes another turn through that route, it's probably a year or two later, the woman has a child who looks exactly like him. And they know he is a father of that child. But he goes away again, and the woman has to rule in the household. After a certain time, people saw that other cultures and societies were not coming together in marriages. They began to enter marriages, and it began to be more coordinated than a man in a household. That is why in Africa we have the prevalent practice of women or wife inheritance. But we also had women who also married women to procure some roles, maternal roles they couldn't do, like birth children. That woman who could do that was not subservient to anybody. She was poised, she was enlightened, enabled, and she had reached means. She was a woman of means, and she was the table. Not anybody asking what she did bring to the table. Over time, religion came. The African religion does not denigrate the woman, or even the original mode of the African tradition. If you agree with me, most of the important places in Igbo land, for instance, street names and towns are feminine. I do not agree that this is a man who does not have respect and regard for a woman that reveres her in naming his most important ornaments and towns after the women. Asaba is an example. Its most prestigious, renowned streets and towns are named after women. Having said that, I think we are all to blame for what is happening. And I'm a good person, which is why I'm a frontline responder to issues of this kind. And I believe that we are people who provide solutions in platforms like this and others talking, but we do not do. We perpetuate the same ills we condemn, even where our laws states otherwise. We become conditioned and accustomed to treating women like that. Leonard Wood, in some southeastern courts, in the Temple of Justice, they constrain women to tie their hair.
Oh, Jesus.
They do not allow women lawyers, female lawyers, to wear trousers.
Oh.
And when you are not a lawyer and you come into the courts dressed in trousers, you are harassed and embarrassed. It's a constant fight I asked them to take me to jail for contempt of court if they find these rules in any of the law books.
Okay. Thank you.
But they perpetuate it. And who midwives, who should protect this act?
Women.
Learned judges and jurists. I've seen a woman, a woman who is a lawyer, run to bring rapper to give her clients because she was wearing 3/4 trouser. And I asked her, I just came out from that church, from that court, and I'm wearing trousers. What is different? She said, are you now? That because are you. So it is actually a reign of different strokes for different folks. And especially when the folk is female and she cannot speak up for herself or lacks the necessary support system to enable her stand up for her rights. Everybody will keep quiet and watch the abusive cycle continue. Yes, a long exposure to these abuses have made women the primary enablers and a very vibrant agent in its perpetuation. That's very correct. So men are taught to give rein to their natural emotions, to their libidos. Women are taught self-control. It's easy for a man to strike up a conversation about what is happening to him with men, but it is even difficult for a woman to have conversations about what she's going through internally in her body with women, not to mention the other gender. Yes. So we must engage laws. I, for one, know that Nigeria and our society is replete with laws, but they are not implemented. We should implement them. And I pointed one critical thing. There is nothing like women's rights. That's humans' rights. We now make laws because some people have been more exposed to certain abuse to help them access justice speedily. But it is still human rights.
Thank you.
The same way a man has to, for inheritance, is the same a woman has. But the women will tell you, no, a woman cannot buy land in some communities. A woman cannot inherit land. But the Constitution and the Supreme Court has set a precedent. And a pronouncement has been made again and again.
Yes.
Yet, conditioning has even prevented women to accept that reality, walking and living it. So we each have.
Okay, I think the network has set in.
To not only preach it, but to engage it actively, to become defenders of this right, to ensure that each one is given a voice for everyone.
Thank you.
And to personalize these ideals for a more inclusive, justiciable society.
Thank you.
That's my.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, I wanted to stand up and dance again. I looked at the time. I said, time don't go. Thank you, Majorly. Can you please mute because of interaction? Yes, thank you very much. Wow, wow, Jesus. Like say no be this voice, this talk show for blow. Ha! Wow, Chineke Namie. These people that are here are gurus. But let me be quick because I'm looking at the time and I will tell you that we have no time to waste time. I will come to, Ify. I'll keep you for the best for the last. Ify is frozen again. That's fine. So, Emmanuel, I want to come to you. You can still remain mute till I finish my question. Our two, our two award-winning speakers have spoken. And whilst Tope named institutions that perpetuate the dominance and continuous dominance over the male of the male gender over the female, Marjorie was asked why the female continue to allow this when they have upper hand in some society, so to say, in the bringing up or training of the male folks and the female folks. She gave a lot. Oh my God, this woman is encyclopedia of philosophy. And part of what she said is definitely she agreed with the institution. She challenged the barrister, whom I know was trying to help out by saying there are human rights and there is women rights. I think he will speak for himself, but our sister challenged him. Why should there be a separate law for women? But I think, which I will allow him to speak later, that he's looking at, because of the male dominance, even the human rights still need more rights to cover the woman because she has been widely abused, so to say. I'm framing it up like this. But whilst Majorlis talked about institution, as the barrister said, she said, I want to ask, and she talked about religion, African traditional religion. I want to say to you, Emmanuel, in the Bible, the one I know, I think we can also see certain religious probably disparity in the Muslim and other religions as well. But the one I know is in the Bible, when Mary Magdalene was caught with a man committing adultery. I don't know whether you know who the man is. Nobody spoke about the man. No one, I don't know if he's an old man or, we know Mary Magdalene. They said they caught her in the act. At least she was not masturbating. She was committing either fornication or adultery, meaning there is a second person. However, we only heard of her. And we didn't just hear of her. She was about to be stoned to death for being caught in an adultery act. No man was there. This is our religious book, trying to stone her to death. And not just that, I know they said Jesus interfered and came in and rescued her. But how many women were stoned to death before Jesus came to rescue Mary Magdalene? This is over 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. I repeat, this is over 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. I would tell you, Emmanuel, just like Tope and Marjorie rightly said, even nowadays, it is almost still the case, even if it doesn't require stoning to death, but stigmatization, judgment, harassment, even the women condemn you. Condemnation is only on the women as against the men. Emmanuel, coming from the religious point of view, because I know you're a male servant, manservant of the church, what do you think that the institution of the religion, both Muslims and Christians and what have you, can do to stop this perpetuation of violence and abuse over the woman? Thank you. You can unmute and talk.
Good evening, Angel. Thank you for this opportunity again. Good evening to Barrister Topper. Good evening to Majorin, or I don't know if I'm correct. And to all of our fans, our participants in this. Yes, I was a manserver, no longer a retired one, Esquire. If you want to see, or a pioneer one.
Yes.
I'm a pioneer one. Yeah. You see, St. Augustine said something about the coexistence of good and evil. He said it is necessary for good and evil to coexist in order to put balance in the nature. And this is the reason why God has created this coexistence between good and evil. Now, the issue of male, the issue of the female, cool. This thing is something we all met. It has been there from the beginning. And you remember sometime last week we talked about if I am in power and I'm holding on to something that is of immense advantage to me, I don't want to lose it naturally. That is the instinct of every man, of every human, whether man or woman. Now, a man the men are the ones in control from the section of time. If we look at it very well, there are very few women who are always in the picture of things. Most of the books you read, most of the scriptural books you read, law, religion, you see that it's being dominated by men. Those people who make laws, even in the community. And these men, when they make the law, they make laws that will favor them the most, because that is natural with every human being. It's just like a woman also who gets married to a man. She wants to make a law that will suit her, that will give her joy, so that the man will not abuse her or abuse it or bring a second wife. Just as Barrister said that you are a fourth wife and you're asking the man not to bring a fifth wife. That is the nature of every man. Every woman being, when you have an opportunity of something, you want to take hold and take control. And you just want to be there. You don't want anything that will take that joy away from you. Now, why I use the issue of the good and the evil, they have to balance themselves. Now, there are some laws that could be a kind of not very conducive with us. But actually, when you look at them, sometimes the existence of that law helps to balance things. As in, we just accept it, we just take it, and everybody's happy, and we move on. Now, let me go to the issue of if you look at the Quran, you discover that the passages when you find women leading or being at the forefront is almost negligible. The number is almost negligible. But when you look at the activity, the dominance of the man, where they make laws, where they participate, everywhere, as in they dominate 90 to 95%. Jesus himself, when he was choosing his disciples,
Thank you.
how many did he choose? All men.
Thank you.
When the 12th tribe, when Moses was sending spies to the promised land, all men. According to the Bible, if you check the 12 tribes of the Israel, they are all named after men. All of them after men. Most of the prophets that the Bible spoke about that ever choose are almost all men. Except we talk of Esther and Ruth. Very hard to read, is almost negligible. We also look at their books in the Bible. The passages are just very few, just small words, and the Bible went on. Now, Jesus Christ, anyway, made a friend in the family of Lazarus, being Mary. At least Mary and Martha, they were there, they came in the light. And the Mary Magdalene came also along, and the other women. that were always showing Christ's love, even when he was in the Calvary. Yeah, this is to bring in, to say, it is not saying that totally women are relegated. No. Everybody has his place. The community simply gave more hands to the men. Let us come to our community. If you look at, even in the advanced world, Africa, we know that Africa is almost, if you leave Africa, we want to give it all to men, 100%. Now, let us also look at the Europe. How many of their countries, the countries in the Europe, have their leadership? They are in the topmost leadership, being women. And for those the places where we've had women before, it is either maybe, okay, let's take for the UK, for example, Queen Elizabeth. Perhaps if the husband was still alive, till this moment, she would never have had that opportunity of that plenty fame that she had. Margaret Thatcher and the likes. This is huge, but if you want to count the men, you can count endlessly. You keep counting and counting and counting. In the America today, the system is dominated by men also. So, in the context of the religion, it's something that you can separate from what is presently happening, where we have, what we are experiencing now, because men dominated. So men make the rules most times. And the few women that are there, maybe where you choose 10 men as committee members, 2 women as committee members. At the end of it, in the long run, they will have to. In the long run, they will have to just stay put and agree with the men. The men can just chip in 1 or 2. The men will be just chipping 1 or 2 things in their favor, just as Major has said. Okay, they are accomplice. They agree. But how much choice do they have? You can keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting. But at the end, just a little percentage will be given to you. So this thing is something that is just like nature. The nature has programmed it already. And it has taken, just as you said, more than even 3,000 years from that men, just since the inception of the creation of the world. The Bible and the books who wrote 1 or 2 stories about God's creation will always let us know that God created man first and gave the dominance to man from the beginning. Even in our local history books, for those of us who read history, tell you especially athletes, I have a little knowledge, a little flick into the Yoruba creation. How Duduwa sons and all that. You see that most times they talk about the sons. Maybe after like 100 years of story, you don't bring one woman along the line. The same thing go to the north. We have only one woman that you can easily say in the north. You talk about the Queen Amina. Before, after Queen Amina, how many emirs in Nigeria do you see in the north that are women? How many Ezes and Igwes in the east do you have that are women? Go to the west. How many Obas in the west that are that are in the old Nigeria, Africa, everywhere you go? Just keep looking at it. So these things are sometimes something we cannot exactly fight. And somebody said something some time ago. He said, "Do you know why our parents and our grandparents had a better marriage than we do?" I asked him why, and why do you think they had a better marriage? He said because the women accepted their fate. And they did not argue, they did not contest, they were just loyal. You know, they just had this loyalty, they were just loyal to the husband, and everybody was happy. The man was always feeling like the boss, not being challenged, and everything just went. He said, but this generation, he said, I pity you people. He said, you're a little elderly man, this young generation, he said, you are suffering. The women will tell you they want to form equality with you and all that. Then sometimes when I look at it, I now told them something about, there's this song, Fela sang, African woman. You call African woman, you know, go Greek, you say the lady, African woman, lady won't take piece of meat before and so on and so forth. So this conception, this ideology has already been stuck to most of our brain. And as she said, a good number of the women also have, to date, have also agreed with it. You ask the question to the house, man and woman, who should be richer? Why did the answer come most of the answers were men should be richer? Why? Because we have that perception already. That yes, man should run the house, man should do the, should do the bringing, there's more prestige, there's more integrity if the man controls. So to me, these things are things that we learn from just instincts, like we grew to meet it, we learn it, we go to the school, your teacher tells you that yes, you are the man, you will be the breadwinner, you will control president. And when you are teaching the female children, you begin to tell them how to be the nice, the good cook, the good housewife, So you go to the church is telling you, you go for the same thing, you go for maybe your matrimonial, your wedding ceremony, you go for your marriage class, you go for the marriage in the sermon, and they are telling you what the man should do and what the woman should do. You always see that most times the man, just as you said, the man is always giving that physical dominance, that idea, okay, it's you that to protect, that to do is you first. The others, the woman will come. So, but you have to support and all that. So for me, this is where this is how I read it, and this is what I believe it is. These are the reasons why.
Thank you very, very much. You can mute.
Then I would like to throw a little light also on the issue of the sexuality of the man and the woman. Now, it's not as if that men are not trained. For those of us, most people were saying no. It's actually not no. It's actually not no. It's just that maybe we did not take cognizance, we did not take a good we will not pay good attention to it while we were growing. Now, for me, it is here. Men are trained to be sexually conscious and have that control too, just like women. The difference is that for the men, it is less emphasized. It is very, very much less emphasized. Your daddy may never tell you about it. If the men, the fathers, may not discuss extensively on it. But at the time, they will speak on it. Perhaps when they feel you have grown to some certain extent. And all advice I said, that also depends on the home you are coming from. If they will ever speak on it or not. If they will tell you it's good or it's bad. Now, the reason why it is less emphasized now is this. There is this belief, especially in all that, for the man is less endangered. We believe that the women are far, far more endangered. So they will always tell you, it's a man, if you go with him, his life will not be destroyed, but your own life will be destroyed. Secondly, there's always this belief that man has a lesser sexual influence on the female. It is the female that influences the sexual behavior man. Like you see, you are not dressing well when you're naked before men. So what do you expect and all that? Yes, the woman can easily seduce a man, but it's less likely for a man to seduce a woman and succeed, except if the woman wants to. Now, I remember when I was going to school, sometime in 2001, when I was leaving my home for school, my dad was like, he called me, was to advise me. And I was like, for women, I know you don't do this thing, you don't do that, the way you put your mind in church, keep going to church and all that. Now, he did not speak more on it. Perhaps, maybe he had already observed me. Now, two, he will also, as well as look at it and said, even if he's a man now. So, but even at that, we also have situations whereby we are trained. Don't bring shame to the family. Don't have a child outside wedlock. For a guy, for a man, for a male child, even when you have a child outside wedlock, that's why, yes, it may not affect you as adversely as the female. There is a depth. People will look at him, he's an irresponsible man, so an irresponsible boy. Look at him, he has been impregnating now. So that's also now other people now that sometimes you see somebody say, is it that young man you are going away with? He's a humanizer. Don't go away with him. don't go around with him. Now, again, Major said that the female folks are assumed to be the supposed home builders. That is the role that everybody will, okay, if the groom is very good, is the mother. So the mother will train the child, do everything. Anywhere a particular child is not able to handle, will bring the father in. While the father is also observing, and I remember those kind of role. My mother will talk to us, she will beat us. When my dad comes, she will also report the same case she has dealt with us to my dad, and my dad will continue where she has stopped. Anything she tells the father is final. So these are some of the ways that some of us males in the church, we go for maybe like the Muslims, they go for their karatu. They tell them, they teach them also some morals, how to liaise, how to relate with the opposite sex. Like me, who is a Catholic, go for catechism, we are told also. We were taught all these things and all that. You are an altar boy, a master, how you should behave. You are a member of a pious group. You are not expected to bring standard to your family and to the church. So these are ways that men are also taught how to have. They have to have this sense of sexual control. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow. Wow. These guys are all wonderful. I want to say to you, back to my beautiful Ify on the screen, they've all spoken well. And I'm looking at the time. I know we'll come back again for the second run because it's almost 2 hours. Ify, part of what Emmanuel said is that women can easily seduce a man, but a man can't. And I think self-control, training. That's what I thought when I heard that. I hear him talk about fight, and I'm thinking feminism, in terms of, he said about his, one uncle like that, old man, so to say, saying that he pity men because they are growing up now. They are going to see a lot of women are now fighting, arguing, contesting, that men are suffering. And I'm wondering, that old man, is it part of all these men that made all this regulation and rules that is so abusive to the woman, that if the woman says, no, I don't want to be a conformer of these laws that are so abusive towards me, they say the men are suffering. The suffering I heard, honestly speaking, I was touched, because suffering is like our brother also, the lawyer said, that is because of all this training that they are training women to serve the men, and he was kicking against it. He said, and I know that women are perpetuating it as well, which when I asked Marjorie, she said it's because of the abuse women get. That is why they are, they don't know what to do. And when this older man is pitying men, because women right now, like where I am, I can tell you, most of what he said, let's be honest, the Bible was not written by Africans, so to say. If you read the Bible, you will know that it's abroad, and it was brought to us, and we are all practicing it. Even in those Bible, which is what I true to him, you will see men are dominating, you will see women are stoned, you will see that there are double standard between the men and the women. And he pointed that out rightly, which is what we've always seen. But let me say this, currently, women, because of feminism, which women is now used against a woman. If you say you're a feminist, they will curse you. Oh, you want to show you're bigger than a man? Women will say no, and they will start to continue to be subordinate rather than come on, I'm also human. So when he talked about the fight, arguing, women not accepting their place, what I'm hearing is women are now saying they want rights as well. So my question to you is, okay, before I ask you a question, here abroad, there used to be a time women are not allowed to vote, women are being made to be homemakers, women, all these things we are laid out. And right now, there is a human rights, which our brother talked about, which gives every human being that breathes equal rights to live and not to be servants. Everybody, like in monarchy, like he talked about Queen Elizabeth. I know the last Queen Elizabeth, by default, was made the queen because no male child in the area, they all left. So in the hierarchy of things, it got to her by default. But I can tell you right now, the monarchy, even that used to be the worst in terms of it's only man, have now made a law that the first child, be you woman, as long as you're the first child, woman is also, we also have rights. You will be the head of the monarchy. Therefore, although Queen Elizabeth, because the second, because there was no male, by default became the queen. Right now, if there is a firstborn child, and is a woman, it won't be by default, by right, by birthright. She's going to be the queen rather than look, no man, or yeah, let's manage you. And let's be honest, even, I hope she comes back, even the Queen Elizabeth II is almost the longest ruling queen, head of monarch, and people loved her. She did absolutely well. So I don't know why we should accept our fate. The issue now is because we are asking to be treated as human beings. It is so, the ears are itching me because we fail to understand that we are all human beings. Thank God you're back. So my question to you quickly, then we'll continue from where we stopped is, he talked a lot about women taking their place in terms of traditionally they think that women were happy, the world was peaceful. But if you look, how are women happy and the world was peaceful? Why are there people advocating for rights? Why, if the world was peaceful and people are happy, why were people asking for rights? If the world was peaceful and everybody were happy, nobody will ask for rights. So my question to you, Ife, are you happy to continue, because you're in Nigeria? I know a lot of, they say women should be the neck, women should be the tail, women should be the stomach, women should be anything but not the head. Do you think that it's okay for women to continue to be segregated in the kitchen or home rather than be allowed opportunity like the men to aspire and become the best human being they can become? What do you have to say?
Thank you so much, Nurse Angel. In our mind is always on my mind, and my destiny is in my hands. I want to thank everybody who's spoken. First of all, I want to share my personal experience with you. In 2018, I got a job in Lagos at Plus TV Africa, so I had to move. My mom went with me. I had just my first child. So when we got to Lagos, we had to get an accommodation. So I was scouting for a house, desperate because I was staying at a friend's place. So I needed to move and give my friend space. So guess what? One man had accommodation, so we went, and after talking, guess what? He asked me, are you married? I said, yes. Where is your husband? He's in the East. He has to come. I cannot give you this apartment without a man.
Sure.
That I had to get a man's ID, and he has to speak to the man, you know, for that he can only give his apartment to a man. So I told my husband, and he got the details, and that's how I got that accommodation. So the female house agent who helped me told me that that was the practice in most parts of Lagos. So it occurred to me then that if the owner of the house was a woman, I doubt that she would have asked me to get a man to stand for me, because she would understand that, of course, I'm the house owner. Nobody stopped her from owning a house, even as a woman. So it brought me to a point where I think that the societal issues we have, and the fact that we have actually placed women, we have actually determined as a society from time that women are not supposed to aspire, they're not supposed to own property, they're not supposed to assert themselves, they're not supposed to speak. Makanobo wine. Don't you know that you're a woman? So it's everywhere. And that is why I move away from places where that obtains. Because it gets to a point where you check yourself, and there was a question you asked about money. Who deserves to earn more? Who deserves to have more money?
Yeah.
And people were saying, there was a divide. Personally, I want to ask everyone this question. In our mind family, females, males here, do you all have needs? Do you all eat every day? And in channeling every day, do we eat every day? Do we have need for accommodation? Do we have need for education? If we all have needs, then why will you tell me, will everybody get married? No, it's not compulsory. What if I don't settle down? And then maybe all my life I was hoping that a man will come and take care of me. What will happen to me? That means I won't have a life. So let us begin to break down. It starts from here. Because the moment we begin to propagate these things, we're perpetuating what will not, augur well for everybody eventually. Because now what I want to pass on to the next generation should be something that is sustainable, something that gives everybody a level. So if I keep saying that it is men so that they will take care of the family, they have more responsibility, I am not looking at the fact that a woman can actually decide to do what she has to do and even help the family.
Thank you.
And the man proud of her, encourage her. The thing is, these things are not gender. It doesn't have anything to do with gender. You're a human being, first of all. So if you understand that I'm first of all a human being, I will try my best to maximize my potentials. I walked away from a place where I was told that I should stop working.
Oh,
I had to move. Because it is not possible. My parents sent me to the university. They actually gave me quality education. And all of a sudden, I'm told that, oh, you don't have to. No, I had to. I said, no, you don't do that. Because I know that my family actually has a lot to gain from me. That's why I was put through school. So it doesn't even matter, even if a woman does not go to school, that doesn't still limit her. Thankfully, in Anambra State, we have what we call the One Youth, Two Skills Initiative. That's entrepreneurship empowerment. So you can actually empower yourself. We have the likes of Vicky James. She's a fashion designer. So you can actually, it is in your mind what you have made yourself to be, what you see in yourself. Another thing I want to talk about now, I've trashed the matter about money and all. If you decide not to have money because you're a woman, I'm sorry for you. Because eventually you will not have the life you want. A man will not give you everything, is likely to give you everything you want. There's something like our money, and there's my money. For your money, of course, you can make decisions, you can decide what to do, you can actually take care of yourself the much you can, and be the woman you want to be. Propel your dreams. Whatever you think of doing, you won't say, oh, I'm waiting for somebody to give you. You go ahead and do it. Whatever you do, so that you'll be a force in the society. We do not see where we are placed by nature. If you don't see yourself as someone who has been placed in this world to solve a problem, then that means you're not living, you're just existing. Even as a woman, you can be that one who has been positioned to actually liberate even your community or your state. We see what Los Angeles is doing. I don't know if there's any man who is doing this. And then you tell me that a man is supposed to have more money? If a man had the means you have, maybe he wouldn't even think about us. He wouldn't even think of the society. So that is how I want us to be reasoning as in our mind family. Think about it. Look around you. Don't just go with the crowd. Think about be more selective about what you allow to influence you, regardless of religion or anything. Then look around you. Make your decisions yourself. Then about the training to manage sexuality, guess what? I have a different view from what everyone has said. Because I heard the barrister, I think it was Barrister Tokwe, that said that training ladies to manage their sexuality is emphasized. Yes, that's what he said. And I can't quite remember what our mommy said. But what I want to say is that ladies are not actually trained to manage their sexuality in our society. They are only told and instructed. Do you know what it means for somebody to be trained? The way you train somebody to cook, you actually say, oh, this is the process. That is training. But they are just told. You're supposed to.
They are not told.
But nobody else knows how to.
They are threatened.
Because sexuality is a course. You have to understand. Some people, that is why a lot of women, they don't even know they even get to the point of getting married. They don't even know themselves. They don't even understand their sexual makeup. They don't even understand, they don't know anything. But sexuality tells you, oh, fine, sometimes your hormones, this one, sometimes you might feel like this. These are the things you can do to contain yourself. These are the things. That is why when you are not around, if you're not present, she makes a mistake because you didn't train her. You just told her. So if we can because I studied communication, so I understand semantics. Training is a process. You can actually instruct people without putting them through. So can we begin as an enlightened community? I would suggest, Ms. Angel, if you will, I know, of course, that this is what you like to do, to actually help us get someone to tell us what sexuality is about, so that we can even begin to understand it. So that way it's not about, I'm not even going into the debate of whether boys that we already know the truth, but that training, let everybody understand it, so that when it is time, you can actually call both genders and sit them down and do it's something that should be talked about in the home, so that when you feel a certain way, I'm actually feeling HORNY, and you understand, this is how I feel. These are the things I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm not supposed to do this because it will make me feel it even more and I might make a mistake. So this is how I can manage myself. These are the things I get to do when I feel this way. This is how I come through it, and then I'm fine. Maybe because I'm not married. So those are the things. I feel that women should be more assertive. But then I'm happy that this is a knowledge society, which is what IOM is propagating. People are beginning to learn. What you don't know, you cannot even assert. If you don't know that you're supposed to assert yourself, and your self-esteem has not been well formed, you may not be able to do that. Personally, my father shaped my self-esteem and built me up. There were things, so when I find that I'm not being treated a certain way, I'm not being appreciated, I immediately know, and I begin to feel uncomfortable. So some people, they don't even know what is appropriate for them, how they should be treated. Mm-hmm. So you see, so you find that ladies who were well, shaped, who have self-confidence, who have self-esteem, it's difficult to put them down. Even when you're putting them down, the problem is sometimes somebody is putting you down and you don't even know. You don't even know that you're being put down. But when you understand that this one is not, even if you keep quiet, I'm not keeping quiet because I don't know what's going on. Actually, no, but because I don't want to cause a sin. But then I know that I have to leave this place, yeah? Some of us are so courteous like that. We don't want to engage, right? Probably because you feel that those people are not enlightened. Sometimes you're in certain places, maybe you're wearing a certain thing and they want to be naughty. You just know when to leave because you know that their IQ is low. So that's also, you should be intelligent as well as a woman. You should condition yourself. You know just how to manage these cultural issues and all of that, and just move on with your life. So that is it. I believe that I've exhausted.
You guys, you all have destroyed the topic. You have, I don't want to use certain words because of Facebook. I want to appeal to you. We have only 10 more minutes. It's supposed to be an hour program, but because of how interesting it is, we have gone to almost 2 hours. Another 10 minutes is 2 hours. I want to promise you, you guys are amazing. We, this same squad, please, if you permit me to appeal to you, we will definitely be back next week Sunday to do a part 3 of this topic. But before we go, I want quick, just one sentence, please. Don't go beyond one sentence. I don't want us to be here for 2 hours. It's not going to be good. I'll be flogged by the admin team. I will go back to you, Topman. Please, just one sentence. We will come back next week. What do you have to say in closing? One sentence. We'll come back next week.
I think it's the learning process is a continuous one.
Absolutely. Thank you. Marjorie, I know you struggled a lot with your voice, but thank you for speaking. What do you have to say? Just one sentence, please. We'll come back next week. Hopefully, your voice will give you tom-tom to be clear, to clear your voice. Unmute Marjorie and give us just a sentence. What do you have to say, Marjorie? Emmanuel, whilst we wait for Marjorie to find our way to the WhatsApp page and unmute, what do you have to say whilst we come back next week?
It's actually interesting and interesting to be here again. You hear from different people, the group and all that. It's interesting to be here.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. And Ify, whilst we wait for Marjorie, what do you have to say in closing? Marjorie, if you can hear me, please unmute and let's hear what you're saying in case you're talking. Ify, what do you have to say?
We need to begin to learn, to improve. And it's not just about you, it's also about what you pass on to those around you. So beyond the conversations here, begin to find out for yourself how you can better understand these things to manage yourself and to improve knowledge in your society, the society around you, so that it's easier, to live your life and maximize your potentials.
Thank you. So, family, I want to say something. I wanted to introduce the topic, but I saw that the people that we are talking with are very smart people. So I just busted into this topic. But from what this wonderful, amazing, best of the best speakers have said, you family, you all will agree with me that historically, from what they all said, every one of them, including our beautiful lady here, historically, women have been excluded from economic opportunities. We heard them say, quoting the Bible, thousands of years during the creation, women, or the interpretation, nobody was there, the interpretation of it, have been excluded from economic opportunity. Little wonder why women are mostly disadvantaged. We are asking why? Why not? If you are excluded from economic opportunity, for example, family, do you know that out of the billionaires we have on earth, 88 to 90% of our billionaires are men? That is not surprising. After all, men have always been in the forefront of economic manpower. Women only make up about 10 to 15% of the world billionaires. This reflects a broader and inequality that has largely favored the man. Let's be honest, currently we can see things are changing. That is why instead of 100%, which it used to be, it is currently 88 to 90%. Women are coming up. However, I want to say that is a fact, like our brothers have said, including our sisters. It's a fact that men have held more wealth than women due to traditional role genders. If you look at it, I would say that solely there are jobs like inheritance. All the jobs were solely kept for men. Women were solely made to be homemakers. However, currently, again, I want to say to you, smile, because things are changing. Don't mind that our old papa that is angry that we are begging and crying that we are also human beings and have abilities. I'm not looking to remove any right from anybody. Everybody hold your rights, but women also should enjoy right as well. I don't think it's too much to ask. However, like our brothers said, in the olden days, and in some places, I will say to you that it's still happening. Women were excluded. Women were excluded from economic opportunities. For example, our sister Ify just gave us a typical example of renting. Oh, Jesus. She gave us a typical example of renting a property. She's not buying it. So when you hear that in the time of old, property ownership, jobs, education, even opening a bank account, you need a man in order to do that. You will say, wow, it's not true. Our sisters just told us her experience currently in our today Lagos State in some area, probably where she went to. These have truly, honestly, let's be honest, it has led to wealth acquisition, mostly for our male gender. Now, let's look at key reasons. What are the key reasons why we have this wealth disparity? We've said it all. Inheritance law. Inheritance law practically favors men in some societies. Here that I am, the law have been changed, and I just told you, like our brother quoted about the queen, I requoted that currently the laws have changed because they are now looking as the women as human. They are human beings. It's not because you have more power than me that you have to abuse me and remove everything from me. After all, nobody will like it if you do that to black men because white people say I have the power, I have the ammunition. We don't want that. Not to talk of slim people against fat people. We can't use because of sizes, color, gender, race, or whatever, and take away things from a human being that have breath. Like Ify, our sister said, as long as you have needs, why are you giving the inheritance to only the men? Why? Can we also be partakers of it? I'm not saying don't give to this gender. I'm saying, can you also share? Let's share. Anyway, let's also be honest. If you look at certain jobs, there used to be a pay gap, but currently things are changing. That is my happiness. Equal job pay for equal gender, which is so amazing. I don't know if it's the same all over the world because I heard our sister Marjorie was talking about even wearing trousers. You are not allowed into the court of law. If a court of law is stopping you from exercising your human right to wear what you like, where will you go to claim rights over things that have been denied to you when the court of law is denying you your human right to choose your own attire? Heaven help us. Anyway, I don't want to go much because we will still come back again. But I want to say again, the good news is that recent trends, and smiling because recent trends have shown that women are increasingly entering high-paying fields. They're increasingly taking leadership roles. If you look at the society, all our brothers, like you pointed out, Ify, you said, look at me. I'm here. I'm a woman and I'm doing this. Not if I was denied opportunity to go to school, if I was denied the opportunity to work, if I was denied and told men dominance, I am not a conformer anyway. I don't conform to all those abusive laws. I don't conform to it. But if I was denied my human right as a human being to go to school, to get employment, how can we create this in our mind platform? How can we all, because these speakers, taught by Emmanuel Majori and yourself, we are all owners of In Our Mind platform. I wouldn't have created this. I wouldn't have been doing this. We are all supporting and empowering ourselves. I want to stop here. There are many things I want to say, but I won't. Remember, the topic is on side chick, but inside the topic, I will tell you that we are looking more on what is the inequality, why is it created, what's happening. Let us dance and go. I think the hour is past. We have to dance. You have to stand up and dance with me. I think my speaker.
She wants to collab. I can sing for you. You can sing for me. She said she wants some collab. She need them back, they be like tornado. She talks say that they play like Ronaldo. They think they sweeter like Conjas and Minado. Eminado. We go go Monaco. I rock her body, leave her Molando. She just a holler, she just scream on Migado. As I the fire, I they call her Molando. I'm Molando, yeah, baby, it's a free collabo. I know you want me, collabo. I'm singing for you, you're singing for me, my collabo. She wants some collabo, yeah, baby, it's a free collabo. I know you want me, collabo. I'm singing for you, you're singing for me, my collabo. She wants some collabo, yeah, that's how I show you. She know they regret no more hard I know. But I don't give up to me on the get down low. My brain is scatter how he said cause I don't know. And I don't know, like say no tomorrow. If I don't get money, I get place tomorrow. Say you they feel me, you they phone say you don't know. I get your passport and you don't say I don't know. Me I don't know. Yeah, baby, it's a free collabo. I know you want me, collabo. I'm singing for you, you're singing for me, my collabo. She wants some collabo, yeah, baby, it's a free collabo. I know you want me, collabo. I'm singing for you, you're singing for me, my collabo. She wants some collabo, yeah. Baby, move on to your collabo. Make I make you my Indiana. Don't do the Gucci sweat. If you didn't feel I'm a go. If I don't get money, I don't get I got your password and you know say I don't know. Oh yeah, baby, it's a free I know you want me,
All right, so we have to go. We have to go. It's collaboration. It's collaboration between the man and the woman. In our mind, it's always in my mind. And your destiny is definitely in your hands. We have to go. It's past 10. Good night, everyone. Bye.